So you guys have that. Okay, and I'm going to open up somehow. There we go, found it. Okay, here this is. Ta-da! Just so you all know, this might have spelling errors or grammar problems, and I am not an expert in that, and I didn't double check it. I had someone look it over, but I'm a human, so I'm gonna make mistakes. If you see them, forgive me. and then just get to the core point of what the content is trying to say. So I want to make sure that you guys are able to see this. Okay, I see that this bar is here. Can you guys see this bar? Or is that not there? Can you guys see the writing clearly? Pause this. Okay. What if I don't know. And I can't get your. So I like never show screens. Sorry, guys. You can see it. Okay, cool. Thank you. All right. There we go. Okay, so welcome. Welcome to the Empath Leader Success Workshop. I am so stoked to be sharing this. Like I said, like as I was making this, I'm like, every one of these things I could talk about for hours. So I'm going to try to keep this really focused, go over the basics in which I feel like is relevant and necessary for you to know so that we can move on with it. If you don't already, please grab a notebook or open a Google Docs. You're able to take notes because in this process, we're going to be doing a lot here beyond learning. We're going to create a plan for you, and we'll go into that. But essentially, this is the workshop for you to support you in honoring your energy system, your unique energy system that is different than others. As an empath, you are structured entirely different. And so your business plan and the way that you show up as a leader should reflect that and should really lean in and utilize these beautiful uniquenesses that you embody to support you in igniting your business and showing up in a new and very specific way that's going to help you stand out and be the unfair advantage that you have to really embody and use the unfair advantage that you have as an empath. So how do I go to the next? There it is. Okay, cool. So you are here if you feel like you're doing all of the things and you're not seeing the consistent results. The income's inconsistent. You have high months, low months, but the anxiety is pretty consistent throughout the whole process. You feel like your nervous system is kind of constantly like up and like vibrant, right? Like activated and like needs to relax. You may be here starting off your business and looking for that undercurrent, the energy behind it to support you moving forward. You may be struggling with overwhelm or feeling burnt out, having these great ideas, getting really inspired and taking action on some passions, and then just finding yourself hitting dead ends. And having the extreme range of emotions and energy, going from like 100% to 0 and just feeling like you're falling behind or you can't keep up, or the staying consistent and focused on one thing is very challenging for you. Or maybe you're feeling disconnected from who you are, from your fullest potential, from your fullest expression of yourself, struggling with not trusting yourself, not trusting the universe, not feeling enough, and battling imposter syndrome. Yeah, we'll go more into some of the spiritual traumas and some of the other struggles, but yeah, these are some of the key points. If you are feeling any of these, you're in the right place. You know you're an empath, you need support, you're in the right place. Probably don't need to go too much into that. I do want to bring out this outline. I know that you all already know it, but I just like to have that clear structure so then we can flow within this container. So the 4 main points, it's 4, not 3. I opened it to make it a little easier to understand. We're going to first go into diagnosing and really getting clear on what exactly might be sabotaging your success and what's really holding you back from this next level or this next step in your development and your expansion, your leadership. Second thing we're going to go into is your empath advantages specific to your business. Now, I'm imagining that if you are here, you already know you're an empath, you already know your gifts to an extent. And so this is more about accessing and uncovering what your unique advantages are as an empath in business and how that can support you in standing out and utilizing these gifts to set you apart and move you forward. We're going to go into the soul empowered methodology. I'm going to break it down for you and give you the steps that you can take with you and utilize on your own and implement within your business. And then finally, you're going to create your own plan. Throughout this whole process, you'll be taking notes, but you will create your own plan that is going to support you in your, you're going to create your own success plan, your own structure to support you in moving into your next level of success, wherever that might be. Whether that be you just starting off your business and you're looking to step into it, or you're evolving your business, or you're just ready to like up your game. We're going to create that plan here. Okay, so we're diving right in. Actually, I'm going to go back because I know as an empath, we need to ground before we receive information. So let's all take a moment. Close your eyes, get your feet on the ground or lie on the ground if you can. Bring your attention into your body. Focus on your breath. As you breathe in, let it be the invitation to open and receive. As you breathe out, guide that breath down to your root and send your energy and your roots into the earth. Let those roots grow and just melt into the earth, creating a safe, comfortable container for you to be held and open. With every breath in, you open up to receive. You become more embodied and present. With every breath out, you sink deeper and deeper into the earth, growing your energetic roots into the earth, letting them grow deep and wild, creating this strong connection, this stable foundation for you to be held and to receive the natural harmonizing energy of the earth, supporting you in releasing any excess energy in your body and receiving any calming energy that you may need right now to be fully present, open, receptive to what we go over today. Once you feel yourself deeply rooted, grounded, and connected with the earth, let's go ahead and bring that energy up, spiral it through your chakra system, and open up your crown. With your breath, imagine the top of your head opening. And this beam of light is coming down from above, funneling in, creating this divine connection from the energies above and the energies below, harmonizing and moving through you freely. Allow this open channel to support you in receiving this information, receiving the channelings that come through me, but also receiving the channelings that come through you, hearing them, receiving them, and believing them, so they may fully support you in your next step. Now let's bring attention to your intention for why you are here. And move it into your heart space. Why are you here? What drew you to this workshop? What is it that you'd like to receive from this space? Feel into it. Be clear. When you have that intention very clearly within you, take a deep breath in your upper chest, in your heart area. Surround it with light. And then when you breathe out, allow yourself to release this intention. Release your expectation of how this is going to come to you and what this is going to look like. And instead, creating this space for you to receive exactly what you need, what's going to support you most. with the core of that intention in its truth, allowing it to come in the way that may surprise you, that is going to support you the best. When you're ready, you can flutter your eyes open and come back to this workshop. Now that we're grounded, transmuted that excitement into clear focus, right? Let's begin. So like I said, there are a lot of new people, a lot of new faces here, and I'm so excited to meet you. So I'm just going to do a little brief introduction of me and why you should be listening to me. Hello, I'm Ashley Dufresne. I am a Life's Purpose channel. My formal background is in psychology, clinical mental health, leadership, authentic leadership, and energy healing. As I've been developing and honing my spiritual gifts, I have been honing and developing my channel for the last decade, channeling my whole life, but really doing the refinement work for the last 10 years. I have had a business, a healing and channeling business for the last 4 years, moved it online about 3 years ago, and it's been quite a journey. You know, I did the holistic business coaching. I did the traditional, marketing and business stuff, learned all the things, and just found that everything that I learned about, actually, I'm going to take off the screen share so you can look at us. Oh, there's people in the weight room. Oops. Glad I did that. So I did all the traditional business things. Like I learned the marketing, learned the strategy, learned all of the stuff. And what I found was I stopped doing and believing in the things that I had once trained myself in, like listening to my energy, honoring my truth, listening to my intuition. Instead, I stopped believing myself. I was like triggered into old ways of being, where I couldn't trust myself, couldn't trust my intuition, needed my coach's opinion, needed to see if it was the right strategy, the right way, the right whatever, right? It's like I undid like years and years of work, like a decade of work. I like reverted back to like childhood experience when it came to my business, because it triggered me and re-traumatized me into old ways of being when I didn't feel safe and I didn't feel secure. I like uprooted my root chakra, and like from there, as you guys know, when our base chakras are not aligned, like everything just fucking goes, right? Also, if I swear, I apologize in advance. It just kind of happens. It flows through me. Sorry, I might not be able to help that, but yeah. So to the point, I experienced that, and I felt like I had to go back and redo work. And so through my process of working with my business, I started really realizing and recognizing the pattern that I was experiencing as an empath, and reflecting it and seeing it within my clients as I was supporting them in creating their businesses out of their purpose of, oh, interesting. Yeah, that was my experience too. So from there, I started diving in deep and started seeing these common themes and patterns that existed within empaths in business that don't exist in other people, and how they show up magnified, and really create this this barrier that makes it more difficult for empaths to fully step into their life and create the success that they came here for. It's like you can go on the same journey as somebody who's not an empath, and it's so much more difficult as an empath, because all of the barriers and all the experiences that we have while going through the same exact stuff. And the way that the system is set up, and the way that the business coaching is set up, in the marketing and all of the things, it's super overstimulating. It's a lot of it's detached and unempathetic. It's very masculine in structure, and it doesn't really vibe with or honor the energy of an empath. So I'm really stoked that you're all here, because I'm going to be sharing with you all what I found, and then how to move through it, so that you're able to create a system and energetically that is going to honor the way that you are structured. And beyond that, utilize it to set you apart and let you thrive as you grow your business. Okay, that's a little bit about me. I'm sure I missed out on a whole lot of important stuff, so if you have questions, let me know. But I'm going to get back to the workshop. I wanted to keep that as brief as possible. Okay, all right, so here we are. First, we're going to be we're diving right into empath trauma, because a lot of people had questions about what this is and what that means. And this is really important, because I find this is like these 4 main points of empath trauma, or are the things that hold empaths back the most in life, but also in their business. So one of the biggest things that empaths experience is gaslighting, Now, there's a degree then which we experience that. Some people live in a very toxic environment or had abusive relationships where it's a little bit more extreme. But gaslighting can be as simple as somebody being like, that's that wasn't real. I didn't experience that. You should reevaluate. That's not true. It basically, what it does is it teaches you to doubt your perspective of reality, simply put. So that can be a whole range of experiences there of how that feels and how that's processed. But when we experience these things in our childhood, we take everything at face value. We don't have the discernment or the prefrontal cortex or the developed brain to help us process what's happening on a deeper level and understand that our experience is just different from others. Instead, we look up to and look towards our guardians or our parents or whoever's around us to validate us and to listen to us. And if they're not experiencing what we're experiencing, which is natural, if we don't have a parent that's an empath or that's highly sensitive, they're not going to be experiencing the same things. So it's not their fault. We just don't live in a society that is conducive to the development of or inviting in highly sensitive or empathic people, which creates this effect. It creates this effect of belittling and not honoring our sensitivity. And that goes in a wide range here. That means like our sensitivity to simple things like light, sound, people, right? But also to emotions, the collective's energy, our own personal experiences. Our experience is heightened. And when we don't have that space when we were younger to have had that heard and understood, it creates that conditioning within us that we dismiss. We start dismissing and belittling our experiences, our sensitivities, our intuition. We stop believing in our experience. We don't trust our experience. We don't trust our intuition, our opinion, our gut feeling, right? We second guess it, have to go to a palm reader, listen to a channel, pull some cards, right? We need to ask the business coach or this person that knows nothing about business because we've been trained that we had to look outside of us because we cannot believe ourselves in our experience. We were trained at a young age. We can't believe our experience because it's not true. And so this gaslighting goes deep and it really does melt and like infect every area of our life beyond business, but definitely within our business. And the examples that I've shared, you're probably like, oh, yep, done that. Where you had that idea drop in of what you wanted to do next or what was going to happen. And you're like, this is a good idea. And you sat with it for like 2 weeks, 3 months, a year before actually moving on it because you didn't believe that you could do it or that it was right, that you could trust it. So you look outside of yourself for validation and for help. And it's not bad to ask for help. That's not what I'm saying here. But it comes to a point where we're codependent on it. And that we don't really trust in when we look outside of ourselves for the next best move in our business. Because we question ourselves, our opinion, our experience. We feel like we're imposters, like, I don't know enough. Who am I to do this? I'm not enough for this. We overanalyze it. And then we get frustrated when we witness the Dunning-Kruger effect. How many of you know what the Dunning-Kruger effect is? Raise your hand. Okay, so the Dunning-Kruger effect is the less somebody knows, the more they think they know. So they'll show up really confident in the thing. And it's so frustrating for empaths because they actually know so much, but they're not actually willing or feel confident enough in their truth and what they know to get out there. So they're just watching these other people who might know nearly nothing, but because they know more, they feel more insecure and fall into imposter syndrome. And it creates this loop of like, Jesus, how can they do it? I've been studying this for 20 years and they just started a week ago. It's pretty funny and frustrating, and I've been there. But interesting. You should look it up, and it'll make you laugh when you see it now instead of get frustrated. Okay, so that's gaslighting. I can go all day into that. Like I said, like that could be a whole training in itself. It's empath trauma and gaslighting, but let's move on. If you relate to any of these, write it down and write down the key elements that you are experiencing within your business that that you feel is like holding you back, that's in regards and related to gaslighting. Okay, we're going to come back to it. Just write down what relates to you and how you're witnessing it within your leadership and in your business. Okay, next one is a big one, and I spell inability wrong. I see it. Okay, so inability to surrender, clinging to control. Whew, I'd say this is like the biggest one. And that's saying a lot, looking at the gaslighting. This is the biggest one right here, because it feels almost impossible to actually surrender to the universe and to trust that we're going to be supported. Instead, we cling to control. And even if we think that we're surrendering, we convince ourselves that we've let it go a little bit. That's like we're strangling it and we're like letting go that pinky. We're like, I surrendered. You see? You guys probably can't see me. But it's like we think we're doing it, and like it's just a pinky around the two hands that are strangling our vision. So this control, it's an illusion created by our anxiety. And anxiety comes from, well, empath trauma and overstimulation, which I'll go over in the next slide, deeper into like where that comes from. But essentially, this inability to surrender prevents you from fully trusting the process that is in the highest alignment with your truth, that is going to support you the most, that is going to guide you to your highest success, that is going to guide you to the highest impact, that is going to guide you to the desires that you have been setting all along. Prevents you from trusting that process, and prevents you from believing that the universe or God has your back. It prevents you from trusting your intuition and your body's wisdom. And when that happens, it truly blocks you from receiving what you've been trying to manifest. And it can cause some resentment. I felt that resentment to the universe, like, oh my gosh, I'm doing all of the things. Why am I not seeing the results? And that's because I also am a Virgo, and I like to control all of the little details and think that I'm surrendering, but really I have such a tight, like, written detail of the exact control that I have, and I don't actually let myself release those details. Now I know it's a Virgo thing, but it's really an empath thing, because of how hyper focused you are on detail and how much control that you've had in your life to feel like you were in control. This perpetuates and creates that block within your business and within your success. It energetically blocks you from your desires and does create some resentment. So write down some notes if any of this resonates, in which ways, in which areas in your business or in your life that this shows up. Go ahead and just write down some of the details on the inability, or, you know, around surrendering and trusting. Okay, this is a good one. I know BP, we talked about this one. The conditioning around, we're conditioned to believe that our uniqueness is weird, but in a bad way, like a bad strange. Now we all know weird's like good, you know, since the 90s, weird's cool, but like in the way that's not acceptable. So we're conditioned to believe that our sensitivities and our unique gifts and these things that on the surface we're like, yeah, these are cool, but deep down we've been conditioned to believe that they're a spot of weakness, and that they're the uniqueness that actually doesn't just set us apart, but makes us really strange. And that comes from a variety of experiences, from people who don't understand, that we've shared too much with, that we've received really bad feedback from, or we felt rejected, right? Or it could just be around society and around what's normal and what's acceptable, and how we can never really see ourselves fitting into any box. That's a great way, huh? There's a lot of different ways that empaths are so uniquely designed that when it comes to trying to fit in anywhere, we don't fit in. And then that not fitting in makes us feel weird, unaccepted, and rejected. And so we start seeing all of our uniqueness and our sensitivities as weakness, as well as like, don't share this, hide this. You don't want to be rejected. It goes down to that core root that all of us have deep down, like bottom tier of the hierarchy of needs of acceptance and love. And when we're different and we don't accept our differences, we have trauma around it. it makes it difficult for us to fully show up in it, accept it, and shine our light bright. So that prevents you in your business from showing up fully, from really owning the huge like magnitude of what your purpose is and what your unique gifts are. It keeps you from sharing that fully and fully being seen. If you're finding your clients aren't coming to you, if you're doing all of the things and you're not finding any new clients or new audience members, this is probably the core root of it. You're probably hiding in some way and don't realize it. You're only showing a part of you, that you're only attracting a part of your ideal client and not the huge amount, the massive people that need your work, that need your light. So it prevents you from sharing the full expression of your sacred gifts. And it reinforces you to blend in instead of stand out. Again, consciously, we may think that like, yeah, we want to stand out, we want to be different. But when it comes right to it, we've been conditioned that we need to blend in to fit in so that we aren't rejected and that we stay lovable. I know that sounds like so surface, like point blank and like so untrue to your conscious mind, but I'm speaking to your unconscious mind. I'm speaking to your subconscious mind that was created and developed when you were a child, when you took everything at face value. So just a little bit more there. It can prevent you from optimizing your positioning as a leader in your industry. So what I mean by that is your positioning is unique to you. It isn't just that you're the master at healing or art or authenticity or whatever. There's a uniqueness that you embody that actually provides you this very optimal, unique positioning that makes you stand out in your industry. So if you're not honoring and allowing yourself and haven't done that healing around, reconditioning that your uniqueness is your light and not your weirdness or the thing you need to hide, then you're not going to let yourself stand out. You're just going to blend in with the rest of the leaders in your industry. Then this conditioning around your uniqueness being weird eventually just falls into self-betrayal. It creates this self-betrayal where you don't give yourself the same attention within your business that you give yourself within your life. So within your life, you've learned how to manage and like love and honor your sensitivities. Maybe you turn off the lights at a certain time and put on the blue light glasses when it comes to bedtime, or maybe you don't go to concerts because you know that it really overstimulates you and gives you a panic attack for the next 3 days, or maybe you know that you can only handle being at a party for a couple hours. You know what I mean? Like you create these boundaries that honors your energy within your life, but when it comes to your business, again, it reverts back to the old conditioning and old ways of being, which means you tend to fall into like self-betrayal and forget how your sensitivities are being affected when it comes to your business. So it's more difficult for you to remember that unique boundary setting or unique rituals or things that you do to help yourself throughout the day. Those different things need to be implemented or created and implemented within your business to honor your uniqueness, to honor your sensitivities, to honor you entirely. And then coming back to the sensory and energetic overload, the overstimulation. So this goes back to the anxiety, and we're going to talk about it here and like why highly sensitive people tend to be more anxious. Well, right here, years and years and years of overstimulating the nervous system. Years and years of it. We live in a society that is so overstimulating. Like everything is like boom, 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 right? Because everyone's addicted to the dopamine rush of like these instant gratification and these pop-ups. But for empaths, it's just like triggering our already overstimulated nervous system. It's too much. It's a lot. It's a lot. And so that can look like in your business, an ability to fully step away from your business. Step away from it. You want to, but it creates this anxiety and this control and this like need to engage that keeps that, because you're existing and working in a overactive and overstimulated nervous system, right? Yeah, your sympathetic nervous system is just like go, 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 fight or flight, freeze, right? And so when we act like that within our business, we're like a hovering parent in our business and we can't step away from it. We're like too much in it, looking at our phone, looking at our email, right? You probably have a cycle between email, Instagram, Facebook, right? Or however your cycle is. And it just perpetuates this acts and this, this overstimulation, this action from an overstimulated nervous system. So it makes it difficult for empaths to step away from their business. And it makes it hard for them to just sit still at all, because they're like, fight, 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 like either run away or be in it and like keep going. And it makes it hard for them to really make relevant and channeled content, right? You go to sit down and make content and you're so overstimulated and you're like, I don't even know what to say. I know I have a ton to say, a lot to teach, I just don't even know where to start. Right? You've all felt that. You're like, I don't know. So then maybe leave, So it creates this dynamic. You're either like overly in your business or you're completely detached from it. And neither of which are healthy, and both of which are a response to an overstimulated nervous system. This also causes fear around money. Fear around money, feeling safe, feeling secure, feeling, look at all the root chakra stuff. When we're in that space of trying to survive, our survival instincts are the baseline of our hierarchy of needs are going to feel triggered and feel like heightened. Even if it's not realistic, even if you're totally safe and you have the next however many months planned out and it's like set, you're still going to have that feeling or that fear around money because you've been conditioned that you need to worry about surviving. Survival mode. Am I safe? Am I secure? Is this going to work? Right? Just repeating those things over and over and over and over. This can, of course, in effect, prevent from really getting the aligned clients because you can't really show up fully in your vibration when you're functioning from an overstimulated nervous system, from a totally out of whack nervous system. How can you totally be in your soul's vibration and be in your essence, calm, collected, totally open when you're in trauma response? It's hard to really attract in the right people and even call them forth or even know who they are. At that point, when you're like really in it, it like pushes you further and further away from your soul's vibration, which causes this life's purpose amnesia, what I call it, and makes it difficult for you to remember, like, wait a minute, why am I here? What are my gifts? Who am I serving? What is it? Right? Okay. And ultimately will obviously affect your business's success. So what it looks like, it just looks like your cup is always at the verge of overflowing, if that's an easier way of describing it. Like you're there and one more thing and your cup's just overflowing, right? On edge, anxious, and intolerant to uncertainty. That's a whole nother thing. I have done a few trainings on this in my Facebook group, Intolerance to Uncertainty. So I'm just going to touch on this briefly. I won't go too deep into it, but if you don't know what an intolerance to uncertainty scale is, I highly recommend you look it up. Empaths, it's an actual study. Empaths fall on like the farthest scale of intolerance to uncertainty. And so what happens is most people, uncertainty is uncomfortable for sure. Yeah, like uncertainty is uncomfortable. That's why there's a scale. But the way that highly anxious people, highly sensitive people, and empaths experience uncertainty actually feels like an allergy. It's a physiological response to uncertainty that creates an effect that pushes them more out of alignment, and it sabotages their happiness, their success, and just like well-being in general. So I highly recommend looking up what that means and what that looks like for you. But just knowing that you feeling uncertainty is a normal thing in a business, because entrepreneurship and owning a business is never certain. It's not. You're not going to find that really cushy, like 401k with retirement and benefit. Like you're just not going to get that from your own business unless you create that in time. But in the beginning of your entrepreneurship journey, like, it's uncertain. And if you're an empath, being on the far end of that intolerance to uncertainty is like, it really feels like you're living in hell if you're not managing that, you're not working through that healing and like actively giving yourself that space and attention within that. that might validate some of your experiences. Let me know if that resonates and you guys have experienced that, especially now, you know, with so much uncertainty in the world. Oof. Add your uncertainty with the collective energy you're picking up on, and you get an empath during COVID. You get an empath in 2020. Okay, so that was just empath trauma. Like I said, like I really could do like a whole training on every one of these topics. I'm trying to keep it simple, guys. I hope that you're enjoying this still. Okay, so the second part is the energy system. Just this page on this, okay? So how your energy system is different and how it may be holding you back. So the way I like to describe empath's aura is like amoebic. So like most people, they have this like outer wall and they don't pick up on and like take on other people's stuff. But empaths, that outer wall doesn't exist. We're like an amoeba. Like we're shapeshifters. We're able to like fit in any place and be whatever, and our outer boundary is just absent. So that prevents us from, I should say, what it does is we begin to absorb everything around us. That is the collective's energy, that is those closest to us, that is everyone on Instagram that you scroll through, everyone on Facebook, everyone in your email inbox, and all of your clients. I mean, everyone. And if we're not aware of all the different ways that our amoebic aura is maybe collecting in that energy, and we're not actively doing something with it, which I will go into, then we're gonna have a lot of overstimulation, and it's gonna be difficult for us to remember who we are and why we're here. Stay focused on our truth and our essence, which goes into absorbing. We take on all of it. And so one way this can show up in your business, let's say you're writing content for a ideal client. What will happen is you'll embody that so much that that becomes your truth. And it's great to an extent where you'll know exactly what to say, but then energetically you're in that space. And now it's your truth. And so then you spiral in this energetic experience that is not yours. And it keeps you from staying in alignment and staying focused on your purpose. That's just like one mini thing that an entrepreneur does in their business is write content, right? Or write emails or write a pitch or whatever, right? When we go into the pain points, we take those on. Now, like think about the same thing when you're in a session with somebody. You're hearing them, empathetically hearing them. You may even be taking on that pain. Well, now when you're in that call with them, they feel you because as an empath, the next one you're a projector. So now you're pushing out that energy out and they're like, oh yeah, you feel me, but can you help me? Like it feels like you're where I'm at right now. Like, I don't know if you're going to be able to help me move through this because it feels like that's where you are. So projector, your potential clients, you feel their energy, you amplify it, and then you send that out. And it creates that sales call dilemma is what I'm describing to you. It makes it hard for you to just show up in your energy and be that space holder and hear them. It's much easier, if not doing the work, to just reflect that back to them. Just take that on for them. And then you're just living your day with that stuff. And all of those sales calls, you're just holding it. That's not, I mean, I don't even need to describe how that's going to affect you. You understand that. Also, as a projector of energy, we magnify energy within us, right? Just as we feel things more intensely, that energy is intensified, it's expanded, and we project that out. I talk about this in my Empowered Empath course about how when an empath's not happy, like everyone in the room, they're feeling that too. What you're experiencing, you magnify, and it goes outside of you. And so what that happens when it comes to law of attraction is your greatest fears and anxiety, if you're focusing on your fear of security, money, clients not coming in, people not, whatever your fears are, you think about those and feel into those, they're magnified. You're going to be projecting those outside of you. And you're going to end up manifesting and bringing more of those situations to you. I can't tell you how many times I'm like, oh, that's my biggest fear. I hope someone doesn't ask this thing. And then like, I have 3 things in my inbox for that. Or I hope that this doesn't happen. And then like, that comes up. You know, it's so funny how magic empaths are. Like, they're these magic manifestors. Almost to a fault if we don't know, right? That we can manifest our greatest fears and anxieties into our lives. And you probably have all experienced, I know you've all experienced that. Raise your hand if you've like thought something so much and then like you attracted that exact thing. You're like, seriously? Like yesterday, my partner was like, the cat's gonna puke in my shoe. He's never done that before, by the way, ever. The cat doesn't puke. And the cat puked in his shoe. Pretty funny. I had to share that because he laughed about it. Don't worry, it was funny. Okay. So moving on, energetic buildup is the last thing in the energy system. What happens? Okay, so all of these are connected. Our amoebic field, yeah, and we absorb, we amplify, project. What happens is the more that we feel, more that we take on, we begin to start feeling overwhelmed. And overwhelm becomes a baseline. And that can become paralyzing. And I discussed this earlier about the I don't know. I don't even know where to start now, right? That fear spirals and it perpetuates and it deepens and it becomes our habit and our routine and our baseline. We can't really function or expand from the space when we're hardly maintaining here. We're not even maintaining, we're surviving. Your business can't thrive if you're in survival mode. So when we energetically get built up and we don't actively participate in releasing energy, grounding, rejuvenating, this is what happens. Overwhelm, really easy. Feeling paralyzed by it, falling into, I don't know what to do next. I don't know what to share. I don't know what the best marketing plan is. I don't know how to talk to them. I don't know how to pitch this. I don't know what the price should be. I don't know. What am I doing again? Wait a minute. Is it that thing or is it that thing? And this is really common for empaths too. When we're surrounded with a community of like-minded people and other leaders, it's easy to take on their passions and their thing and their purpose as our own. I see it happen so much, and I have a program, Activate Your Life's Purpose, and I have to preface always, I'm like, hey, I know that right now you probably feel like your purpose is to help other people find their purpose, but I promise it's just because you're in it right now and you're an empath and you're surrounded by it. I had to preface that because it's so easy to believe that your reality is what you are experiencing, what you're surrounded with. As an empath, if we're not actively aligning with our truth, we're taking on the truth of others and we're getting mixed up with it. And it's hard to really define what exactly our truth is, what exactly our purpose is, what exactly our mission is. Especially if we're a multi-passionate person with a lot of passions, makes it even harder because then you're passionate. And you're like, oh, I'm passionate about that too. Oh, but they're doing that and that looks really cool. I'm gonna do that too. And then we're all mixed up. And then you need AYLP. No. I'm just kidding. Okay. So it makes it difficult to really stay focused on your purpose, on your soul's vibration. And it creates this like shaky sensation. You can even hear it in my voice. I'm speaking to you because I'm embodying it and now you're feeling it. Right? It's too much. I can't stay focused. I don't know what direction to go. This is taking too long. Am I doing this right? And it pushes us further and further and further and further and further out of our soul's alignment, our soul's vibration, which is our essence. Okay, so that's potentially what might be holding back your business back when it comes to the energetics and the energy system of an empath. It's a lot. You're not hopeless. I got solutions for you here, but please write them down so you know really clearly now that there's been light shined on it. Ooh, what is that? See that line, guys? Did I just get there? I think I did that. Whatever. Okay. Write it down so that we're able to create a plan to best support you. So take a moment to reflect on those things before we go into your advantages. I think I might even have that here. Yep, there we go. Yay. Identify, take a moment to get clear on the common struggles that I had shared and what are relevant to you and where you feel like might be holding you back right now within your business. Identify which ones are important that you address and that you add to your personalized success strategy plan. I'll just give you guys a couple minutes here. Let me see. Oh, oops. I'm gonna keep this open here. Sorry if I let you in late. Sharing my screen, I'm unable to see if people are in the weight room. Sorry about that. Let's see in the chat box. Oh, cool. So many things are going on here. You're too sensitive. Virgo rising. Yeah, a lot of Virgo risings and Capricorn. Yep. Hard to sit still. Yeah. Calm, not worried. Calm, not worrying is one of my biggest struggles. Yeah. How do we know which energy system we are in? How do we know which energy system we are in? I would love for you to elaborate on that question. Terry, your question was, how do we know what energy system we are in? I'm talking in, what I'm describing right now is just the energy system of an empath. You know, just the how our system is built and how it's set up, and how empath trauma kind of like puts us on this edge of this overactive and oversensitive nervous system, and how it creates these other effects that create the system that we exist in addition to how highly sensitive we are. Okay, I understand. Cool. We are clear. Is exactly like that, Latoya. Like, we are clear quartz. Yep. I understand those feelings. Struggling with energy system or trauma list. Both. BP. Struggles for both. Just everything that I shared so far of the struggles of an empath. Just write down, identify what is relevant to you, what you relate to, what you feel has been most relevant to what might be sabotaging or blocking you from the next level of your success. Literally all the things listed in the energetic overload and inability to surrender is where my biggest struggles are. They stand out to me the most, especially clinging to control and fear around money and clients. Yeah, that security, feeling safe. Yeah, the intolerance to uncertainty. Probably, I bet you're probably really far on that spectrum. That affects you deeply. Zalissa, awesome. You guys ready to move on? Give me a thumb. I'm gonna look at everyone. Let's see everyone. You guys ready to move? Okay, cool. Yay. Oops. Okay, here we go. Oops. Oh, wait, overwhelming overstimulation. Sorry, Danielle, I didn't see yours. Yes. Nice purpose amnesia. Okay. All right, so now we're gonna go into your unfair advantage, your zest, your uniqueness, the magic that you hold as an empath and how it can help set you apart. And I'm actually gonna be using it based on your energy system as a way of organizing it and sharing it back to you. Because these sensitivities and these unique aspects of your energy body are your unique gifts, and it can help you stand out, and it really can be the thing that helps you like be this bright light and stand up the most in your industry instead of being the thing that blocks you. Truly, it's magic. You are so freaking magic, and the more you understand your magic and your uniqueness and your gifts, the more you're going to shine in that, and the more they're going to help you. I want you to write that down. Write that down. The more you own your uniqueness, your sensitivities, your light, the more you own your unique gifts as an empath, the more they're going to help you stand out and be used as your unfair advantage. They are your zesty magic. At least an aspect of it. Okay, so let's go back into the amoebic field. Wait, did I spell that right? Whatever. Your amoebic aura. Okay, so yes, you can, without doing the healing work and setting the boundaries and doing the work in the back. If you do the work, you set boundaries, you ground yourself, you connect with your soul's vibration, you can use this gift of this amoebic aura as a way of deeply feeling your clients' wants and needs. And through that, you're able to be the best space holder. Like the one that everyone's like, wow, I've never had space held me so well in my life. You probably have all felt that. You've all experienced that's probably why you're doing the work that you're doing, is you felt how your magic and your gifts have set you apart and have helped people. So all of these things you probably experienced, but how much are you experiencing them in your business right now? What's great about being this like shapeshifter is you know how to morph into what is needed in that space at that time. It's so powerful. You really are this magical shapeshifter. You can feel entirely what is going on with your client, and you can provide them the experience that's going to best support them. Powerful. Powerful. Only empaths can do that. Okay, go on to the absorber. When you're not absorbing, when you set your boundaries, do your ground, set in place, all the things, right? You are the ultimate observer. Ultimate observer. Because you will know exactly what your ideal client avatar is on the deep personal level. You'll understand them energetically beyond words, what words can't describe. You'll find the words to describe what they couldn't say. You know what they're feeling mentally, physically, emotionally. You understand them on a spiritual level. You truly are, you will be able to be, you are the best space holder, leader, teacher, coach, whatever, for your client because of how detailed and how deeply you know this person and how you're able to provide exactly what they need and that you're able to speak that. And I think it's really hard for people is they have this idea, but when you really lean into your gift as an empath, that idea becomes a whole being with detail, all of the details down to the freckles. Like you really know the depth of who you're working with and you feel it deeply. And so when you have that mastery, everything that you create and everything that you speak out, whether it be on your IG story or in your post or in your emails or in your events, on your email, like any of it, it's going to show through and you're going to be speaking it directly to them. They're going to feel so heard and seen and understood by you because you understand them deeper than they might even understand themselves because you're an empath. You're able to make things feel personalized, a personalized experience for them. And you're able to take it to the depth that you can, combined with how much you care as an empath. This sets you apart. The personalization and depth that you're able to know within them, plus the amount of empathy and care you have, makes you the best supporter of your client. It creates relevant in your content, in your offerings, in your programs. Every time I launch something, every single time I launch something, I get messages and emails and comments and everything saying, wow, this came at the perfect time. This is exactly what I needed. Thank you. Wow, divine timing. Like, yeah, actually that goes into the next one, but this is a part of it. This is a part of it. Is understanding them so deeply, feeling them, and knowing how to curate an experience that is exactly what they want and need, and have the care to hold it. Because there are a lot of great people out there that are really educated, know the right things, have the right stuff. The care aspect is such a underrated aspect to any kind of service or products that when people actually experience it, they're like, oh, well, wait, you actually care about me? You care about my experience? As empaths, you're like, that's normal. I care about everything. I'm telling you, it's not normal. It's not normal, and people want to feel cared for and heard and seen and held. Okay, projector. So just as you might project and manifest the things you don't want, you can absolutely do your work and embody the things that you are and what you do want. So through the embodiment of your soul's vibration, your truth, your purpose, you are able to magnify outside of you that same vibration. And so you're able to be magnetic to your aligned clients, to those that will benefit the most from your services, because you are so clear on who you are, why you're here, what your gifts are, what your purpose is, that through that embodiment, you vibrate that out. You vibrate that out, and it becomes magnetic. It attracts the people in that will benefit the most from your work. So they can finally see you and feel you and find you. This projection is magic, truly magic, and it works. So alignment for, truly alignment for an empath is better than any marketing strategy. And I'm like, I can tell you from personal experience over and over and over and over again, being someone who's a very logical mind, very analytical, like I said, I've been studying, I've been having spiritual experiences my whole life. I actually started diving into studying psychology at like 12 to understand what was going on. Like, that's how like logical I am. Like, I need to figure this out. I dove into textbooks at 12 and didn't stop from there because I'm like, something's weird. Something weird's happening. People are experiencing this. Am I crazy? I think I might be crazy. I gotta figure this out. I'm telling you, I've tried all of the marketing strategies. Some of them kind of work a little bit, but nothing has ever worked better than my alignment and following my intuition. I have numerous times done the opposite of what my very expensive business coaches told me to do. And it's been for the best because I followed this. I stayed in my alignment and I followed my truth here. So with the projection gifts, you're able to alchemize what you project out, right? So you're able to transmute the collective struggle. This is a really powerful thing you're able to do. You're able to, and it's kind of also a part of an empath soul's mission, is you just naturally do this as part of your work. But when you do this consciously, great things happen. When you transmute the collective struggles, you're able to project out the wisdom of the experience. And you can use right now, what's going on in the world, is a really great example. The ones that are leading right now are the ones that are transmuting this experience and sharing the wisdom. They're who you're looking to. They're who you're following. There's who's helping you in transmuting. This is the beauty of the empath. This is a natural gift that you have, this transmutation of the collective energy. Use that to your advantage in your line of work. Stand out as an expert. Transmute the struggle into wisdom. And then lastly, kind of touched on it a little bit, is you are so highly intuitive and you are a natural channel, what would be referred to as a natural channel. Everyone has the ability to channel, but there are those that are natural channels that's a bit easier and they're more inclined to learn and develop much quicker. And as an empath, you are. That's you. You're already doing it. Truly, when you say you don't know or think you don't know, you do know. In fact, you probably know a lot more than you ever thought. And honestly, it does get to be easy, and it gets to be fun, and it gets to flow. What happens is when we exist from our trauma response, we feel like we have to control things. It has to be a struggle. We have to work for it. It's work really freaking hard and hustle and like structure everything and make it this really anxious and uncomfortable experience. And it doesn't have to be that way. That's working from past trauma and not from your advantage. As an empath, you have this advantage to create this with ease. You are a channel. It gets to be easy, it gets to be fun, and it gets to flow. So, you know what to say to your clients, you know what to offer, you know the right marketing plan, you know the price, the structure, for the who, what to share, all of the things. You get to channel them all through. That's the power of being highly intuitive and being a channel, is you don't have to guess or find the best strategy or figure out the structure of how you need to talk to your clients and what level they're in. Like, throw it away because your channeling is more powerful. Promise. What you channel through is more powerful. When you tap in and channel in your spirit team, that team, they're your team that is beyond the 3D, that is seeing all of the things, that is meant to be a part of your purpose. You're just one being of this collective that's leading this purpose. You're just the human being. You're not meant to do it alone. You have a whole spirit team, the consciousness of your business, your highest self, your guides, other beings that might be supporting you, that are also a part of this vision and of this purpose, that are doing this work with you. Utilize them. They have the answers. And it's fun. It makes it so easy. And you get responses like, wow, this is perfect. Just what I needed. And you're like, it wasn't me, it was my guides. But thanks. All right, so take a moment now to just get clear on what gifts of an empath you know that you already use, and what ones that you know that if you were to lean into a bit more could support you in your business and support you in arriving to the next level of impact and income. So review, I'm actually going to go back so you can look at it. Maybe, there we go. Of these, what ones you feel you use a little bit, you could use more, what ones you've totally not accessed at all and you'd like to implement in your plan, and what ones you feel like you're doing really good. Give you a couple minutes here on that. Now, obviously, there are a lot more gifts than empath, but like I said earlier, I'm trying to keep it very specific to like business. I guess I could go all day, like a whole program on the gifts of an empath, but I wanted to keep it very focused on business. Projector is BP's question. Is it like magnifying what clients want to be and where they want to go? So as a projector, you are like basically, it's like putting a quarter into machine and getting like $100 back. That's what you are. You're the machine. So like you absorb something and then you amplify it and project it out. So it could be that. I mean, you could hear what a client is, what their wants are and what their desires are. You can metabolize that and you can project that out, what their desires are, and you can, you know, track them through messaging, through your energy. Yeah, you could definitely use it for that. Latoya, I feel like it's happened to all of these things, but trusting and acting when nudges come through. Okay, so I would write that down. That's going to be important for you to know when you create your plan, is you may be using all of these things, and maybe just through doing that spiritual trauma healing that you're able to access them deeper and really trust them. Great. Awesome. I love to hear that. Nice job. You guys are rocking. Okay. You guys ready? Okay. I'm also going to send you these slides. Okay. Next, we're going over the soul empowered methodology. There's me channeling light codes. Okay. So the soul empowered methodology is 5 key steps that I highly recommend is writing all of these things down. You may already be doing some of them. You may only need some of them, but just write them all down so you can look back on them. Okay. So the first one, I kind of described a little bit as I was talking about the guides. Number 1, first and foremost, you're not alone. You're not meant to be alone. Invoke your spirit team. Everyone has one. Anyone's leading a purpose here, that's something big. I mean, everyone has one, but like, think about it. If you think about it more logically, it's like, if you're here to lead a big purpose and make a big impact and have this vision of you leading the masses, of course you have a team. You're just a single human being. You have a team. Call upon them. Call upon that spirit team. There's a collective here to support you in spreading your mission and leading your purpose. And they have access to reality and all of the things beyond your limited 3-dimensional sight and ego. So access them, invoke them. Have them present through any process in your business, whether it be course creation, jumping on live, trainings, marketing plan, I mean, any of it. Call them in. 2, this is a really big one. Really freaking important. Star it, underline it. Reprogramming, energetically and neurologically. We all saw what kind of things were going on the back end that I didn't even touch in depth on. It was just like the surface of. what's going on in an empath and what may be holding you back within your business. So with these powerful gifts that you have as an empath comes some not so cool empath trauma, and it is unconsciously keeping you from being seen fully in your light, expressing yourself fully, and shining brightest that you can, making the greatest impact that you can. There are stories behind that. There are conditionings, there are programmings that are keeping you small, keeping you hidden, keeping your light dimmed, keeping you blending in, keeping you from trusting yourself, keeping you from surrender. I mean, all of it. These programmings are neurological for sure, and also energetic. It's how we naturally loop our flow. It's how we exist as our habits. So it's essential that we reprogram them. So through reprogramming of the energetic and neurological already existing programming, you can heal these traumas that are running the show, that are really creating the results right now, and support you in fully showing up and making the impact that you came into this lifetime to make. Healing work, deep healing work, reprogramming. It never ends. We don't arrive. Keep doing it. Okay, 3. Surrendering and trusting. Latoya, this is for you. Surrendering and trusting. This is the number one hardest thing. Number one hardest thing for empaths. Because control is a safety mechanism, and it's a response of our trauma. I mean, from fight or flight, we're gonna respond in like staying alive. We're gonna respond in survival mode. So it's impossible to, like, unless we do that healing work and we recondition that we are safe and that we are supported, we're going to continue to act out of that. And that's going to limit your expansiveness and your success. It's going to limit your reach. It's going to limit how comfortable you are pitching yourself to papers or organizations or events, right? All of the things. It's a ripple effect. It also prevents you from letting go of that vision that you see of your purpose, so that it can actually be received. So the universe can actually hear it, receive it, and craft it. If you hold on to it, it never leaves your energy body. Instead, what leaves your energy body is the fear. And we talked about before, the projection. It's just the fear, not the actual vision. So reprogramming that, allowing yourself to fully surrender and recondition trust, and allow yourself to let it be easy. I also think that's a conditioning I didn't really talk on, is I think empaths, because of how detail oriented they are and how much they experience in a minute's basis, they think that everything has to be so in depth and difficult, so conditioned. It's like every societal condition that's out there, empaths experience greater, like everything else, more. So your business does, when you can fully surrender and trust and you activate this and you allow yourself to recondition and program yourself into this, your business gets to be exciting. It gets to be fun and playful and prosperous. It literally gets to be the reason, it gets to be the reality of the reason why you started your business in the first place. To have that freedom, to have that, the prosperity, to have that excitement, to show up fully, to make the impact you came here for, right? Through surrendering and trust, we do that. And it's really reconditioning that. It's really implementing that energetically, like making that our new norm. Okay. Step 4, channeling. You can't get around it. This is really important. Master your channeling. Master it. When you access and hone your gift of channeling, that story of I don't know, that paralysis analysis, that imposter syndrome, that amnesia, right? That goes away because you condition yourself to ask the right source instead of ask outside of yourself. You're asking your team. You're asking your higher self. You're tapping into your truth, or even accessing your own wisdom in your body, which is highly underrated. It gives you this potential and this trust within yourself that, like we mentioned, empaths struggle with trusting themselves and their experience. So mastering your channel will support you with that, because you'll be receiving the guidance and the insight and support to help you So as an empath, like I said, you're a natural channel. This is an unfair advantage. This is an awesome advantage. You really get to curate and craft the perfect offerings that excite you, that light you up, that utilize your gifts and your skills, that provide your ideal clients with exactly what they want and need in the transformation they're looking for. You're able to provide the space and the marketing plan, channel through the marketing plan that's going to attract them in. It does get to be easy. It gets to be fun and playful. And through channeling, you allow yourself to get out of the logical, like, we'll figure out the best way, and get into the flow and hearing it. And get these responses here that I talked about earlier. Quotes. This is your reality. Utilize your channel. You are a channel. You are a channel. Hone it. And then lastly, the final piece is the embodiment of your soul's vibration. Now, this has a magnitude of effects from what you probably, we picked up on from the spiritual trauma and through their energy system, how important it is for us to continuously realign and reconnect with our soul's vibration, our true essence, our authentic self. Like I had mentioned over and over before, empaths absorb what's around them and what they surround themselves with and who they surround themselves with, including social media, other leaders, other coaches, right? So make it a part of your routine, a part of your ritual, a part of your everyday life that you continuously realign with your soul's vibration, with your truth. Don't lose sight of, right? Who you are really, why are you here? It makes it easy when you make this embodiment practice a thing. At first, it might feel like a conscious act, but eventually it becomes an energy loop of how you exist. So it really anchors you into your purpose. So you don't lose sight of it or forget it or like blend it or evolve it in a way that isn't meant to, you know what I mean? Like it really keeps you focused on your path and staying in your lane. So every day, embody that soul's vibration. Embody the mission that you came here to lead. Embody that truth, what it feels like to be leading that. And then let yourself lead it. This is the process that I'm going to be guiding my students inside Soul Empowered Launch and Lead. But I wanted to share it with all of you because even if you don't join that program, I want you to have this because this is what all empaths need. Every empath needs this right here, this methodology. And I actually have the recap here for you so you can look at it all. This process here. And although I have a process of how to develop and hone in and do all of these things, you're intuitive. If you don't feel called to being in a container and having that space held for you and being guided, you'll find the way to do these things. So please do them. Please do them. Because we really need you out there in your fullest light, making the impact you came to make because you are helping change the vibration of the planet and you're leading the change of good. I'm gonna let this sit here for a minute. Okay. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Soul Empowered Launch and Lead, my course, for anyone that is looking to dive into these deeper. And then we'll go into crafting your plan and Q&A. So what we're doing inside of Soul Empowered Launch and Lead, here are the core aspects of the transformation that you will be receiving and going through. You'll be anchoring in your purpose and gaining confidence within your business, mastering your channeling. Truly starting at week 1, we're going to first be initiating that and then deepening that every single week, getting to know your spirit team, and then actually be channeling through your launch plan in your course or wherever you're at. And moving you through that. There's going to be alignment and embodiment of birthright abundance coding because, like we see, empaths often go and opt into survival mode, which means the baseline of their hierarchy of needs is amplified. So they're constantly worried about money, security, safety, uncertainty. So I have these, I do light code attunements in there, but I have specific practices and methodologies that will support you in reconditioning this in your body and feeling safe to receive and actually aligning with the frequency of abundance because it's all around us. It's all around us. and we're just blocking it. So we're doing some of that work. Overcoming uncertainty, like I said, intolerance to uncertainty is such a big topic I talk about. We dive all in, and actually before so I've been crafting this course for about a year now, and that was the original title, was Overcoming Uncertainty. And then, you know, channeled in later that this is more aligned with what it needed to be. But yeah, it's just this one component, but the core component of this is overcoming that uncertainty and really getting confident in your work. So that will be happening. We're doing quite a bit of empath trauma healing and reprogramming, including ancestral healing and societal conditioning healing. This is massive, and every leader needs to be doing that work. Every leader, regardless if you're an empath or not, ancestral healing and societal conditioning healing, because we want authentic, embodied leaders out there. And this is essential, is doing this healing work. Of course, you're gonna be rising to your highest expression, because we're gonna be doing that soul alignment, embodiment, and amplification. You're gonna be seeing and attracting in, getting clear on your aligned clients and calling them in. And of course, you're going to be confidently and successfully launching and offering. At the end, we're gonna be doing the channeling launch. We'll bring you through that process and sharing my, my ceremony that you get to craft and make your own to support you with launching. And obviously so much more, but like, I'm not gonna go into it here. You can look at the page if you wanna learn more about it. I'm gonna bring the structure here though. So the way it's set up, it's 6 weeks. Every week I'm gonna be dropping videos, audio, and PDFs. There's gonna be chakra clearing support specifically for empaths in their leadership. There'll be light code attunements, of course. Some of them are around releasing control, fear and anxiety, reprogramming that, creating an energetic structure within you to support you in rising out of that. The birthright abundance one, like I had shared before, and there'll be more. There will be weekly live mentorship calls. I am also offering a bonus call inside of there with me, which is a one-on-one call with me. And then, yeah, it's gonna be, what's interesting about this round is because this is the first time I'm doing it, this round is super intimate and very customized, that like everyone that's in there is gonna be receiving a lot of customization, and that's why I put and more, because based on what everybody needs, I'm going to be providing that in that space. And so it's an opportunity like no other, and I will not be doing like this again. So it's highly intimate, highly customized, and you'll be receiving the support necessary for you to fully launch and lead. And of course, there's the community aspect of other heart-centered leaders, empath leaders, and lifetime access. So whatever I add to it, you'll have access to that later. So that's a little bit about that program. If you want to learn more, I will drop the link to that, but I'll be talking a little bit more about an opportunity of how you can move forward after this workshop. That's not this yet. Okay, back to the recap. If anyone needs it. Okay, all right, so let's dive in. Time to reflect and construct your personalized plan. Go back and journal, use these questions to help you journal and get clear on these top things. Diagnose. Diagnose what exactly is not aligned in your business right now. Where are you feeling blocked? And what exactly is sabotaging your success? What are the key points that you feel are the key struggle points that really stood out to you in this workshop? Just take a moment there. I know that we already had this time, so I'm just gonna make that pretty light. Next thing to journal on is the empath advantages. Now, a lot of you said that you're already utilizing them. Awesome. Go deeper. How can you be utilizing them more? How would you like to be utilizing them more? In what way do you see yourself expanding that and deepening those abilities? How can you tap into them more and utilize them to their fullest degree? Just write it out. And then the soul empowered methodology. Of the soul empowered method, where do you feel you are at? What of these aspects do you feel like you're already doing, that you're already comfortable with? And what ones have you not quite tapped into yet? And then what ones have you not done yet at all? What components would you feel like would be best to support you in your next level of success? I'm gonna look at the comments. What was the third one? Surrender and trust. Okay, yeah, thank you for getting that. You teach ancestral and societal healing. Awesome. Amazing. To manifest. Manifest it, Celissa. So excited. Would love to be in that container with you. Yeah, Latoya, it's gonna be, I'm so stoked. Yeah, there's 3 spots left. I'm keeping it small and intimate because I want to keep it customizable. I will drop more information. Actually, I'll get that while you guys are writing. Okay, we'll do like 1 more minute here. Here's the link. Okay. All right, let's move. All right, so let's craft your plan. I'm actually gonna go back here. You're gonna be leading into your intuition. You know exactly what is blocking you. It is clearly shown right there in front of you. You know your emotional experience. You know your energetic experience. You feel the resistance. You've seen how energetically your system and also past trauma may be blocking you from moving forward. You see that. You have that there, okay? Take a moment here to write down in your official plan how you're going to be supporting yourself in approaching these things, in doing this healing work, into reconstructing. Using the methodology, using what you know, using your intuition, write it out here. How can you utilize your gifts, your empath advantage as a tool to support you in moving through this and standing out and helping you with your current block, with your current struggle? Maybe right now the clients aren't coming in. You're struggling, like you're not getting new clients. Okay, well, looking back on the gifts that you have and in the potential of your protection ability, of the channeling, the crafting, of whatever, looking back on all of them, how can you use these to support you in attracting more clients? What do you feel like is blocking you? And what do you feel like you can lean into to support you in being seen, right? In niching, and knowing exactly who you're here to serve, and pinpointing in what ways you're not showing that or sharing that. And once you create your plan, you have a plan written out of, okay, here's what I'm struggling with. Okay, clearly this is where the root is. Okay, this is how I can help myself. Here's my next plan for the next 3 months, 6 months, however you intuitively feel it. And everyone's plan is going to be different, so I don't really want to set a time. Because some of you might be like, I feel like this is my next 6-week plan. Some of you might be like, this is the next couple year plan. That's okay. There's no right or wrong answer. Feel in. Okay. Oh, shoot. Sorry. Okay, we're good. Lean into it, feel into it, use your intuition. And then I'm going to open up Q&A, and I would love to hold space for everyone and support you in crafting that plan. I'm actually going to get started on that if you guys are okay with that. Does that sound good for everyone? Okay, cool. All right. Who would like to jump on first? Who would like to receive some support first? Share your plan, what you have, and where you're looking for some support. Guess I'll ask this. Who feels like they have a really clear plan? No? All right, then who's next? Still working at it. Okay.
I don't mind just like talking, I guess, opening up and going. If you're cool with that.
Yeah, definitely. Let's hear it.
Okay.
What's the plan?
I don't know what my plan is. But I know that I am launching a program in September.
Okay.
And I've already started putting content out there that is more aligned in my expression and a fuller expression of myself than I've been before. And I know that I'm still dancing between the not knowing, the like, how should I be marketing this? So I know I need to lean into that trust and surrender more through this process that came out. And let's see, I have so many notes that so it is that like getting clients and making sure they're, see, even the words that I use around this is just so funny. Getting the aligned clients and how to attract them. Like that's where I get stuck and where the resistance is versus just trusting that if I show up in alignment that it'll just all work out.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's start here. So you said that you have been putting out content that is more aligned with what you're about to be offering. Mm-hmm. What kind of feedback are you getting? Are you feeling any resistance or struggle there, or are you having people kind of like responding that you feel are aligned and could use the work?
I feel like I get responses, or I do get responses, which I always have. It's just how to shift that into like people taking action in a bigger way. Because I'll get, like when I've run groups before, I get a minimal amount of people and I'd like to fill 2 groups of 6 to 8 people. So it's like, and I know I've had to work around like my energy and holding space for that and all those things. Okay. So I think there's still probably fear projection around that or whatever.
So it sounds like what you've been doing is like only allowing yourself the minimum, right? And so it sounds like there's some energetic work to do there around around abundance, allowing yourself to receive more than this baseline, right? This like minimum level, and what that would be like. So what I'd suggest is doing some work, some empath work around security, and also just like with abundance, like having that conversation, doing some work with abundance and what that means to you. And, you know, if any ancestral or societal conditionings for you come up around that, and how you can support yourself in reconditioning that and redefining what abundance means to you and how easily accessible it is for you. It also sounds like, okay, the minimum, you're also, it sounds like, are you like repositioning yourself as an expert in a different way?
I have, yes.
Okay. How are you feeling like you're doing with positioning?
It's funny because I think I've long held this idea that people, because when I started my business, it was more around personal training. It's not that now. So I still hold this idea that that's what people expect from me. So that's where I know it's shifted, and I know I'm drawing in people that aren't expecting that, but I know that it's still like there because I noticed it like last week when I had a conversation with somebody.
Do you feel like energetically you're holding on to this old identity and like not fully stepping into this new like full expression or this new evolution?
I actually feel like I've stepped out of it. Like I finally feel like I've stepped out of that identity. And I think in going through this process as the new identity, that might still be like I remember it, but I feel like I'm out of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It makes sense because you're calling it a new identity instead of your more true identity.
Yeah.
So it's an embodiment. So I would add that to your success plan of embodiment of who it is that you are, what exactly your purpose is, who you're serving in what way, and make that a part of your practice. Because it's not someone new, it's just a little bit more aligned with your truth.
Yes. truth. Okay. That resonates.
Okay, sounds like you got a good plan. Some healing work, embodiment work. Excited for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for going first. Who'd like to go next?
So I'd like to go next. I had initially put it in like the little chat thing, and I was like, oh, okay, we're doing this like face to face. Okay, cool. That's even better. So I think my big is definitely around marketing. I think just from everything that you've shared so far, I'm kind of seeing and realizing like where I've messed up now, because I've been working on trying to channel my ideal client and the messages that they need to hear and that wisdom that they're searching for. However, I think what I'm doing is I'm taking on everyone else's energy and just making like a clusterfuck, so to speak, within my messaging. So then it kind of seems all over the place and doesn't really channel in and hone in on that one person. So that's where I feel kind of stuck. I'm not really sure how to channel that ideal client without absorbing and taking on all the pain points of everyone else collectively.
Okay, I'm gonna mute this for the sound, but I'm gonna answer. Here we go. So what it sounds like is what you're experiencing is you're absorbing everything, right? And so it's making it really hard for you to stay clear and stay in your lane of like what exactly you're doing. So that sounds like like putting up some boundaries and some like protective blocks around your energy is going to be really important to make that a part of your routine and to be grounding often. You know, so setting in some practice that's going to be clearing and rejuvenating your energy, as well as a practice that's going to help you with soul alignment. As I mentioned, it's in the methodology. I think the last step is the embodiment. So that's going to be a really big step for you, is that continuous practice and realignment with your soul's vibration. Because the more that you do that actively and consciously, it's going to become a habit and it's going to be your baseline and your norm. So whenever you fall out of alignment or you absorb other people's stuff or you feel this or fall into that, you're going to naturally come back to your truth.
That makes so much more sense.
Yeah, I mean, you know what you're talking about. You know what to help, and it just sounds like you're getting lost in the noise of the collective. So
That's how I feel, yeah, because at the moment I feel like I'm channeled in, but then when I go back and like look at some of my posts, I'm like, what was I talking about? Like, this doesn't even make any sense. And I'll realize like, oh, at that time I was talking to this girl, or I was dealing with this or going through that, and I'm like unintentionally channeling all of that into my messaging rather than what I'm actually trying to focus on.
okay, it sounds like in addition to the putting up the boundaries and doing that energy work in the alignment, I would also put in there getting really clear on and channeling in your avatar, like your really clear picture of who you're here to support, and staying in that lane. And a lot of that fear of like doing all of the things actually is a scarcity fear. Like, well, I have to do all the things, otherwise people don't want to work with me. I'm not enough, right? So there's some healing work in there too. I'll do some of the empath healing work on there too. Yeah, like really getting confident in knowing that there's more than enough when you stay in this lane of like what exactly you're here to do. Like really niching and getting clear on, this is my purpose, this is who I work with. And there were a ton of people on mental health.
Awesome. That actually gives me a lot more clarity. I really appreciate you.
Of course. Thank you. Who would like to go next?
I would, if you don't mind.
Of course.
Oh, there's. So I feel like my biggest issue right now is channeling when I'm not with a client and like trusting the message that like when I'm posting on Instagram or like my story, like when I'm with a client, it just comes through and it's like, oh, like it flows. But when it's just me and I'm like, what do I say? Like, how do I show up? Like, what do I do? And it's like, it's just not coming through as natural as if like when I'm working with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's my biggest problem is like I'm not showing up the way I could, like the way I do with like one-on-one, just like as if I like talking to a client. I'm not bringing myself to that level.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like there's some healing work around being seen and like allowing yourself to, like, the worthiness, like feeling worthy of, like, I am this expert, this is what I do, and like showing that off to the world. Some of that there, but also it just sounds like a big part of your strategy. I mean, the main course, in addition to that, is just honing that channel, honing your channel. Because when you're with people, it's really easy to, as an empath, like, and to be that natural channel, like it's not really on command. It's like you're in front of someone, it's happening. So it's really about honing your channel and making that an on command practice.
Okay.
And mastering that channel. Yeah, that's going to be really supportive. And then, of course, honestly, that healing work is going to be big, because it's the undercurrent of what's actually holding you back from doing that thing.
Got it.
Good question.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks, Ashley. Who would like to go next?
I'll go if no one else wants
Hey,
to. For me, one of my biggest fears is that I'm just afraid to go deeper. Like for the empowered methods, like mastering the channeling and doing that. For me, I'm just afraid to go deeper. That's my biggest fear.
Yeah, fear of like the unknown, or what's going to happen, or what's going to come up, or the experiences of that.
Yeah, I'm afraid of that, and then I'm afraid that it's going to be too much for people. So I try to make it safe and try to do things that I know that will get the most attention or grab the most clients, and not really go too deep. If you understand what I said.
I do understand. Yeah, that's going back to the empath trauma of being conditioned that our uniqueness is weird, and that we need to show up in this like cookie cutter way, in this proper way, to be accepted, right? To be digestible to the public. And so there's some healing work around there, around owning your uniqueness and your gifts, and seeing them as a gift and not a burden, or weird, or too out there, or too woo, or unreliable, right? Or however your story is.
Yeah, like it would scare them away, and I wouldn't be able to survive. Like I won't be making it anyway, because it'll be like so bizarre that they're like, what the hell is this? And like, yeah, that is my fear.
I understand. I am a weirdo channel here who channels aliens. What I would recommend is look at other people who you feel like are a little out there, maybe even me, and see how they are able to have success, or clients showing up, or have that security around their fullest expression. That might help the ego, because the more that the ego sees it, the more it's stored in your subconscious mind, and the more that you're going to be able to pull from it. Whenever your ego has that fear, you can look back in your memory and go, oh no, that's not entirely true. Look at this. So I would do some reconditioning, some healing there around that empath trauma, and then expose yourself to more weirdos that are successful, that are, that are like so out there, but have clients showing up that are secure, that are totally shining their brightest light, and like waving their freak flag, and like making a living doing it, and helping people in the process. That will really help. And then, you're welcome. And from there, what will happen is you'll then be more comfortable with, deepening your gifts and deepening your channel. And that process will naturally unfold after doing that healing work and exposing yourself to more weirdos.
Thank you. Thank you, Ashley.
You're welcome. I'm happy you're here. Who would like to go next? Oh, I'll do Danielle and then BP.
Hi. So to preface for everyone else here, I am currently in Activate Your Life's Purpose with Ashley and loving it. Hi, BP. And because of all the work in AYLP, I do feel like I am embodying this more activated version of myself and claiming my power and ready to be seen and ready to share my gifts. But I find, for me, the thing that stood out from everything that you went over was there's still this piece around that survival mode with abundance. And because I am so multi-passionate and because there's so many things that I want to share and that are not conventional. And because in the past, when I've tried to share these gifts, it hasn't worked out because I hadn't gone through all this work yet in AYLP. I was still living in a disempowered place. And so now that I've gone through all this work and I'm ready to share those gifts, it's like there's that piece about leaning into trust that now that when I share these gifts, that I will be supported, you know, and that I'll be able to leave behind all the work that's not fulfilling and fully step into what I'm ready to share.
Mm-hmm. I'm hearing the energy loop or the story around not enough. I'm not enough. It's not enough. What I'm doing is not enough. This thing's not, you know, I'm not enough. And it comes from the lack mindset, and which is really just an absence of abundance or acceptance of the abundance. So what I would suggest is doing some healing work around solar plexus, around your story of, am I enough? I am enough, you know, doing that work. And then the abundance work of aligning with and allowing yourself to recondition to the frequency of abundance and receiving that, feeling safe in receiving that, in like releasing that control. I would start with small steps, small things of little things that you can like let go of and just like watch how you're supported and build that behavioral momentum and conditioning around the safety around receiving, and let yourself just move in at your own pace into receiving and actualizing your abundance.
Thank you.
That was really like clear. Did you have any other questions?
That answered my question totally.
Okay, cool.
And I love working with you, Ashley. Thank you.
Thank you. I love working with you too. Yeah. BP?
Oh, hey. Well, since we were on that weird note about letting the weird shine, that's where my question is. But to make it really, really weird, last night I channeled in what I should ask today, you know, as I do. And I got to show you a symbol, my guy, a light language symbol. Yeah, we're getting weird. So
I knew it. I knew you were going to bring that.
That's what I have to ask you. I guess you know what that means. And then I have my human question also. So where should we start?
We can start with the light language. Okay, so BP, this is great. You're accessing this another dimension and depth of your work. Although you have been like doing light language for a while, sharing it and like really owning it and putting it out there is a whole nother level, and really is living in alignment with your purpose, your mission. And I highly recommend that you share that, and more so be looking at that and focusing on that symbol, because that symbol is this empowerment of this next evolution of your gifts. You've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
This is just this one right here. This is a potent one. This one is your medicine to support you in leaning into and trusting and showing up in this full freak flag BP mode. It'll help recondition and do some healing work for you. It's a healing symbol.
So just put my eyeballs on that symbol.
Yeah, and feel it. Let your like, you know, let your ego, your human sides step aside, right? And just receive.
Got it. Yeah, they knew you'd know what that was. That's the Arcturus, you know. Okay.
Yeah, Arcturians, yeah, I can feel it.
Yeah, they say hi. My human question is similar though. It was when I was listening to everything we were learning about and going through where the challenge areas are. you even used me as the example of weirdness. So, hey, girl. And the blocks that I was having was either bringing in new clients, like I'm not having an issue with repeat clients or bringing in clients from the same network or pool. They're still coming, but there's not a lot of new faces coming out of nowhere like there used to be. It used to feel like I'd see like 30 new people a day. And I think that that's directly related to the second issue, which is I want to come up with content that to me feels more like innovative or inventive. And I think they go hand in hand. So my question is, what is it that I'm not showing that I could show more to show me fuller within my content and my work that would, fill those gaps? Because I know there's something based on what you said. So that's my question. What is it?
Yeah, you actually said it. It's allowing yourself an even fuller expression of you. I use you as an example because I know this is a big part of your mission. And so what that means is you will continuously peel layers back and deepen this within yourself so you can lead this in the world. So what that means is get more vulnerable, share more of the things that are uncomfortable, let yourself be seen. And more so, what's even harder is let yourself be seen as the expert that you are in your brightest light. So what does that look like? What does that sound like? What do your clients actually need to hear? How can you solve their problems for real? Channel that in. Like, how can you really let yourself be seen in that light?
As an expert?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Just trying to figure out what that is that has to be shown that isn't coming through fully clearly, but almost, but not quite.
And move into your body, into your trust. I don't want to answer this for you because that's also part of the perpetuating the empath trauma of asking outside of you, and that truth is that stuff you already know.
Definitely. Well, you said ask questions. So
I know. Oh, I can answer the what your plan can be, but when it comes to the details, that part right there of what do I need to do, like what I need to share.
Yeah.
I can channel on that, and what's feeling is this is important for you to trust that, to really lean in and trust that channeling.
Got you. Okay. I think that's all the questions I have at the moment.
I would say though, share that light language.
Oh, like publicly?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that was an everybody symbol. Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah, do it. Even if it's not for everyone, share your experience with it, share your story with it. This is a part of you owning your full expression of your light, yeah?
Yeah.
Perfect. That sounds like what channeled in.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Who would like to go next?
Hi, Ashley.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah, so let's see. Right now, I'm kind of in a different. Thank you also for bringing up, Terry, the weird. That was so good. I love that. Right now, I'm in a position where I'm looking for employment, and with that comes like a lot of emails, a lot of networking, all that type of stuff. What has really come about was the absorber of, thinking about how they will read my emails, how I give my feedback, also trying to pretend that I'm the one reading them like from their point of view and like how they'll react. So it's just like, I can see that going into like the career mode of myself, but also my personal, like even when I'm talking with people. So I want to figure out how I can, I guess it is with aligning in oneself, but I've had this for a very long time. So I'm trying to want to stay true to who I am when I'm looking for a potential employer, for them to be able to see like my my truth, my real self. So yeah.
It sounds like what you're looking for then is to feel confident in what you are writing, and in feeling assured that what you're writing is being received how you're sharing it. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Okay, so it sounds like doing some healing work around worthiness and trust and belief in yourself, right? Some gaslight like trauma healing. And so reestablishing that trust in yourself, reestablishing your trust in your intuition, in your truth and your worthiness, that you are enough, and that you might send 2,000 emails, but maybe only one of them is really 100% aligned. That career is the only one of them, that career is like 100% exactly what you're looking for. Knowing that how you speak through and how you write in that email comes exactly through you, is sharing your essence, right? And is being received by that one person that matters, that one career that is what you really wanted. It's hard for everyone to receive rejection, everyone. But again, like empaths feel everything so much more. And so I think just also making that a part of your routine of recognizing that rejection is just a door closing to open another, right? It's just showing you that what's not in alignment and then what direction to go for what is. You know what I mean? Like see that rejection as another door opening. And like, oh, good thing I didn't get that one. It wasn't aligned. Another one's coming. Like recondition that. I would do some healing work and some reconditioning around the story work around rejection, and then around worthiness and trusting yourself.
Is it weird that like as an empath, because I'm writing and it's technically like they're not feeling my energy in a way, I guess this is an empath thought, but like, is it weird that I'm thinking like, how can I better display my energy, so through writing, but like it still be formal, in some sense, like
Yeah.
it's not weird.
Yeah, it's not weird. It's just normal, and you're overthinking it, which is also normal. Just allow that your feeling and your intuition and how it leads you is enough.
Yeah.
It's the overthinking that like gets us in paralysis analysis and like pushes us out of alignment and out of our truth. So the more that you just trust that what's moving through you is enough and is what needs to be said, the more your energy is going to be within that content, within that email.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm not sure if everyone wants time, so if you do want time, let me know. If not, we can do one more. Something that I did want to share with all of you is I'm opening up spaces in my calendar for a clarity call. If you would like to dive deeper into your plan, and if Soul Empowered Launch and Lead kind of feels aligned, you're not 100% sure if it's a good fit, you want to jump on a call, I'd love to jump on a call with you. We can go over it. Just so you know, I never, ever, ever invite anyone into my program that is not aligned, that isn't going to benefit from it. I believe in integrity in my work and will never invite anyone in that I don't feel like will work. So know that I'm not going to sell you. We're going to actually see what's a good fit and what's the next best step for you, whether that be Soul Empowered Launch and Lead or something else. I'm here to support. Yeah, let's jump on. I will drop that link too. I'll share it in the email when I share the replay.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I am really curious about how you implement or include channeling as kind of like a ritual, specifically for your business, into your daily life, because, and I feel like I hear the messages coming in as I'm saying, like how I channeled the ancestors with the grid the other day, last week or 2 weeks ago. I got this thought like, okay, maybe that's what I need to do with the intention for our business. But I'm really curious, because that was like an all-day thing. Like, how do you just take a certain amount of time every day towards this, and you just know that this is like something you schedule time for? or do you just go with an intuitive nudge that you get? And kind of a little background here is that, like, with creating content on, you know, for like Instagram, Facebook, and my website, it's I only really like to put something out there if I'm really feeling it at the time, right? And so I don't necessarily create content around, oh, I'm launching something, or you know, and hence I've never really launched anything, right? So so this is all, that aspect of it is new to me, to like be like really intentional about, you know, getting my services out there and how I want to serve. Because sitting down and like pre-doing content feels weird to me. It's like I may be practicing yoga and then I get this feeling and it's like, oh, I must put this out, you know, but to just pre-batch it feels, so I'm really curious how you go about, or how you would recommend going about ensuring that the content we're putting out there, even if it is, you know, pre-done, really feels right, and how you build time for that in your life. Am I making sense?
Yeah, definitely. And I'm 100, as you're speaking, I'm like, this is great. We're going over that inside Soul Empowered Launch and Lead. I'll be sharing like how I set up my, like the rituals for the channeling, for like how I channel and launch plans, like all of that. We'll be going into all of that, which it sounds like what I'm hearing from you is that structure. Having that structure in place, that divine masculine in place for you to flow within, is going to be really helpful for you to really get your work out there and get seen and like really like move forward in your success. So I will be going over all of that. Don't worry. As for now, because other people said they have that question, what I do is I have time every day that I set, which you'll learn that practice that I set every single day, and tapping into myself, and then opening up that I can call it like a team meeting, like a council with my spirit team, where I have that conversation and let what needs to move through me. And I do set that time in my day, but I also set time each week and each month to do other things within my business. Like every quarter I have like a longer day channeling session where it's like, okay, what's the next quarter going to look like? What's moving through me? What do my aligned clients need to hear and see, and what I need to put out there? And so I create that. And then monthly, like if I have a launch going on, I create, which I'll share with this you too, the ceremony for launching, which goes over all of this, where it really is that container, that masculine structure for you to flow, and it has that formula for you to move through, to get really clear on like, okay, when should I be posting what, in what order, in what way, and what do they need to hear. And then every week I set a day to structured to flow with and channel in. I channel in my guides, I channel in my team, and I actually call in my the guides of my aligned clients to be there to help me with creating and bringing forth what needs to be said and what messages need to come through. And so that will be with posts, with emails, with offerings, I mean, all of it. So yeah, I hope that's helpful. A lot of information, but we will be going over all of that in the 6 weeks.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It is helpful.
Does anyone else want to jump on and ask a question? Awesome. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to be opening up spots in my calendar if you want to jump on a one-on-one call with me and just get some support with your plan and see if Soul Aligned Launch and Lead's a good fit. If you're like, fuck yeah, I want to be a part of that, there are 3 spots left. That's it. We start next week. We start on Monday, on the 20th. So I would love to have you inside. I dropped the link in the comments. I'm going to send the replay tonight, and with it, I'll send the link to set up a call, and also the page for Soul Empowered Launch and Lead for you to intuitively feel into and see if it feels like a good fit or not. Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for being here. This was so fun to share this all with you. This is a long workshop. I probably could have made it like a multiple day thing. I tend to overserve, and I am sorry for that. But what you can do is rewatch this, split it up, right? And continue to absorb this work. Thank you so much for being here. As for AYLP, the next round of AYLP will be in Activate Your Life's programs will be in, we technically start end of September, but it's like October. I think it's like the 27th of September we begin. That date was channeled in, so that's happening. You're welcome. I can send that to you too. Yeah, awesome. Thank you all so much for being here. I can't wait to see you just shine your light online. Tag me in anything that you do that's just out there. I want to like cheer you on. All right, love you all. Bye.
Thank you, Ashley. Bye.